Hello world, my name is Atticus from the future and I'm here to let you know there's a bit of a content warning on this one. The game opens up real strong with suicide within the first cutscene, so that's just a heads up. If you want to sit this one out, completely understand. Otherwise, enjoy! Hello world, my name is Atticus and welcome back to the break room. Today, a brand new game. We have A Place for the Unwilling. I don't know much or anything really about this game. Hopefully it's a fun experience. But that does mean I'm going to make mistakes and I will miss things, and that's okay. That's how a first experience is supposed to go. Ooh. All right, give me just a moment to do a little bit of character customization. So when did this game come out? This is fantastic. Yeah, we're gonna do this one.
My dear friend, I know you won't believe it after so many years, but I had no alternative. I can only trust you. You'll come to this city, I know you will. You never failed me, and I know you won't fail me now, my dear friend. You will come to this city, and you will understand why I did it. All I own is now yours. My business, my reputation, my contacts. I only ask you for one thing, for you to look after my people, for you to take care of my mother and Juliet. But be careful, this city isn't what it seems. It hides secrets, terrible secrets. My time is running out, my most dear friend. I know you won't understand why I did it, but believe me, it was my only way out.
We are starting real intense here. Hello? Huh? Are you there? What do we want to know? We do know that it's Henry, which is quite the coincidence. Where am I? It's not important. It's not important. It's Henry. Henry Allen. Your good friend, Henry. We played War of the Oranges together. Do you remember? It made Aunt Berta so mad. How simple everything was back then. How simple. I'm gonna let him go on. You still know how to listen. Good. Good. Listening could save your life and Juliet's. My dear friend, we're dreaming. Have you got any questions? I want to know more about our supposed friendship. Yeah, why are we dreaming together? You say we're dreaming. How is it possible for you to be in my dream? No, it's not unusual to dream with other people. It's all a question of which step of the staircase you find yourself on. If you go way down, everyone is there. Here, it's just me and you, out of harm's way. For now, out of harm's way. But the city is hungry. The city can smell us. The city is, looking for us. You have to stay alert. You have to dream with caution. You have to find the silver key. The silver key, the white ship, love, So many doors. Which one will you open? Have you got any questions? Let's hear what he wants from us. To be frank, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'd like to find out. I called you because of the city. This wretched city. It's eating up my Juliet, my beloved Juliet. It will devour us all. I wrote you a letter and asked you to take on my finances, my social position, my business. You accepted. You left it all behind. I would like to know more. I can't get a handle on this mess. Tell me more. More? I guess. I guess I can remember it. It hurts, you know, every time I remember. It makes my tongue turn blue. I hear the horrible crunching of my vertebrae. My legs thrash. Then I go still. Still. I killed myself just after I wrote the letter. I killed myself for Juliet, for the city. I can't save her. Can you? That is my hope. You know what? We're not gonna press. I think I've heard enough. Have you got any questions? Let's hear about this supposed friendship. You say we're friends, but I don't remember a thing. What kind of friends? When? How? What kind of friends? What kind? Soulmates. We were inseparable as kids. We were like siblings. Siblings in orphanhood. Aunt Berta looked after both of us. Because of our strange abilities, we were the brightest ones in the orphanage. Do you remember the Orange Wars? I do. I remember. Have you got any questions? Ooh. You don't want to know anything more. You want to wake up. That's enough. I want to wake up. Okay. Let's wake up. But first, will you listen to one more piece of advice? Sure. Of course, you can never have too much advice. Remember the shadows. Fear them, but make use of them, too. The shadows. Those strangers you pass by on every street, on every square, those blurry, indifferent faces which you forget even when they're right in front of you. The shadows are the key. The key, the city, the first city. They are enemies or allies. Remember those who aren't shadows too, the familiar the familiar faces, friends or enemies. They are the key to the city. The second city, the hidden city. I would like to ask about that city. The hidden city? What are you talking about? Shh. Now's not the time for questions. Listen, and try not to forget. Prosper. Only someone influential will be able to discover your secrets. Being important to the city is the only way she'll see you. It's time to wake up. Remember the shadows. Remember the faces. Now wake up. Monday, day 1. Oh. We have a map and fast travel, inventory, a journal, and an interact button. Every day I put my diary away in this drawer. Its pages are running out at an alarming rate. A good friend of mine used to tell me, home is where you hang your coat and your fears. The flowers were here before I arrived, but I've left them. I don't have anything better to replace them with. It is a seascape. The sea is choppy and shakes a merchant ship. And this one? An old family portrait. The oil paint have yellowed over time and poor conservation. Rainy days are perfect for read by the... Rainy days are perfect for read by the light of the fireplace. To read? This is neat. I hope the movers haven't misplaced anything. It would be very rude to interrupt their daily routine. Just because I pay them doesn't make me their master. Who's they? Am I renting like the upstairs? Oh, yeah. Fancy that. It seems Dana Allen, Henry's mother, is throwing a party to welcome me to the city. I should swing by her place from 11:30 a.m. She lives in one of the first manors to the left of my house. If I want my new business to prosper, it's crucial for me to get to know as many of the city's merchants as I can. Maybe Harriet Clinton's shop in the Central District is a good place to start. It's right after the bridge. I've written down a good few pieces of advice in my diary, which may be of use until I'm more familiar with the city. I'd better take a look. Look at those shadows. Alright, we have a grand reception. That is a party from the mother. We have some advice. 5 shops in the city and only traders like me can buy wholesale. They all have the same products available, though prices will vary. I can buy up to 10 shipments every day. These will be sent to my warehouse. I must buy cheap and sell high. I can always ignore business and spend my time somewhere else. And a list of things to do. Should walk around and get to know the surroundings of my house. Perhaps it'd be wise to avoid crossing the bridge until I have fully explored this part of the city. Okay, there's not an actual pause here. Good to know. Am I moving? I didn't mean to be moving. Buying the newspaper every day is important to stay up with what's going on. I need to find the kiosk. Establishing a friendly relationship with the owner wouldn't hurt either. Once I've bought a newspaper, I should look for a shop called Le Lumiere, or something close to that. It'd be to meet the local retailers and start building my connections. I think it's on Longino Street. Well, let's find a newspaper. Oh, there's a little clock, little pocket watch in the corner. Stranger. Forgive me, I'm waiting for a friend. Okay. Interesting. It seems to be some kind of leaflet from some tavern in the Central District. I don't know much about business, but anyone can see how much money there is in the city right now. Some might even say that it's getting all too easy to join high society. Interesting. Lights on in here. Oh, this must be where the party is. It looks like they're still getting ready. I should probably come back at the time mentioned on the invitation, around 11:30 a.m. I can't understand a single word. It's torn and dirty. Okay, so they're giving us a bit of time to familiarize ourselves with the city, which appears to be a rather central element. Policeman. What? Get out of here, stiff butt. What? Can you see someone in the Tang Street? Theater. Embers Den Cemetery, south. Maelstrom Bridge, east. And we don't want to cross the bridge until we know what's what. It looks like there's a play on next week. Maybe I can get a ticket. That'd be fun. I'm just looking for the newspaper. Okay, if I'm reading the clock right, it's 11. Oh, the newsstand, I found it. You're not a shadow anymore. Giles. Hello, good sir. You cannot know the pleasure it gives me to welcome a new decent citizen. I don't know if you've heard of our humble store, the center of distribution for the only reliable news source for miles around. The Journal, good sir. Don't even consider reading anything else. But I'm making a faux pas, as is so often the case with me. Poor Giles. Let me introduce myself properly. I am Giles Stanbury, here to serve your good self and every good citizen now and always. At my newsstand, you will find the daily ration of current affairs and finance necessary to keep your business in order, and all the help this humble entrepreneur can offer. Let your faithful friend Giles get you off to a solid start. Please help yourself to a copy of the Journal, our preeminent local newspaper, the only trustworthy source of information for respectable ladies and gentlemen. And don't even think about getting your wallet out. It's on the house. I'll accept the gift. Oh my, thank you, Giles. What a great way to begin the day. I'll accept it with pleasure. Your happiness is my happiness, my dear friend. Remember that your faithful friend and servant Giles will always be here for whatever needs you may have. All right. Let's see, what time is it? We got 15 minutes. We can read some newspapers. Oh, on the front page. Oh no. Who is Atticus? The new arrival may be a friend of the late Henry Allen. Who is Atticus? That, dear reader, is the question on everyone's lips right now. Today, Atticus will spend his first day in our dear city, knowing little of its dramas and tragedies, although, of course, they know all about him. Both this newspaper and our disgraced rival have immediately begun investigations into the mysterious motives that have led a young trader to settle in our city. It must be a really small town for this to be like front page news. The answer seems to have Henry Allen at its core. Granted, given my relationship to Henry Allen and his apparent preeminence in this city, that could be a reason. Readers of the Journal are familiar with every detail of this tragic story, how his body was found in his office with no suicide note left behind, not even a farewell to his widow or his inconsolable mother. As sources close to the Allen family have confirmed, Atticus was a childhood friend of Henry Allen, and it may be that the deceased had sent a final message to the friend in question, the foreigner who will now become yet another citizen of our fine city. The big question being asked by the newspaper, and one we imagine our readers will also be asking, has to be, what has he come for? What are his objectives? Will he enter into conflict with the onward march of our city? Only time will tell. It says there's an R on it, but it's definitely the left. It does look like time has stopped while we're reading the newspaper, which is nice. I appreciate that. Red Roses, Gray Death. 3 years after the meteorite, Meadow Hill pays tribute to the Gardner family. A garland of roses set down outside the ruins of a farm. Within, nothing but silence, a silence no rat or insect dares to violate. 2 years have been more than enough time for decay to take hold of the former home of the Gardner family, who died in unexplained circumstances after being infected with a strange illness which, according to local legend, was extraterrestrial in origin. A strange color, which some identified as a kind of gray, devoured the Gardners until they were completely consumed. The memorial ceremony was attended by a dozen people, including this reporter. Meadow Hill is becoming more and more depopulated, as if the deaths of the Gardners had somehow also symbolized the death of the village. A silent, gray death, probably the same gray that finished off the Gardners 3 autumns ago. Before leaving Meadow Hill, we attempted to get an interview with Amy Pierce, the last person to see the Gardners alive. Her family did not allow it. Amy is no. Whoops. I've done too much reading today. Let's see. Amy no longer talks to anyone about what happened on that 21st November 1883, just over a year after the meteorite landed on a muggy day in June 89. Her only response is silence. And there's a place for an ad. Oh, is this just in French? No. Just like the first couple words. I'm gonna butcher this. Un coulant, s'il vous plaît. Avec plaisir. A phrase. That last word was definitely wrong. My trick to reading French is just to never say the last letter. Plaisir? I don't know. A phrase many of our citizens have already grown accustomed to. Although French continues to be a language many of us still feel considerable animosity towards. What? Why? It must be recognized that when pronounced by Florence Peyton, it sounds almost pleasant. This week, our affable tradeswoman will offer the sweetest of gifts to any boys and girls who visit her at La Lumiere, a chocolate mint coulant provided. I've lost the sentence. The sweetest of gifts to any boys and girls who visit her at La Lumiere, a chocolate mint coulant. Okay. Sweetest of gifts. And then that's, what's the turn of speech? Phrase of speech? Part of speech. Wow. It's not even that late. Maybe that's the problem. Oh, this is going to bother me. It starts with an A. I know that much. It's, the main thing that ablative absolutes are used for in Latin. Apposition, I think. Yeah, a chocolate mint coulant is in apposition to the sweetest of gifts, I think. Hold on. We're going to break down the sentence real fast. This week, our affable tradeswoman will offer the sweetest of gifts. Tradeswoman will offer gifts to any boys and girls who visit her at La Lumiere. So, boys and girls is an indirect object. Boys and girls who visit her at La Lumiere. Those specify the boys and girls, really. A chocolate mint coulant, in apposition, it and gifts are kind of together, the object. Provided, of course, that parental consent has been given. Okay, moving on. I don't know grammar well enough to be doing this. Let's just keep reading the newspaper. Miss Peyton also informs us that ladies should take advantage of an excellent opportunity to acquire some of this season's most fashionable Parisian hats. Okay, and we have London's Market Supplement for traders from all over the country that want to learn how prices evolve in London. Is that where we are? Okay, is that maybe just like a list of average prices for things? So if we can find a place to buy from that is lower than that, we should go for it. And there's an ad for Dream Potatoes. Nice. Well, that clock is ticking real fast, so we're gonna head over to the party. We could be fashionably late, but I don't know if that's in fashion. It's this one, correct? Who? That's Juliet. She's looking down, and it doesn't seem like she wants to talk with me right now. Understandable. Oh. Every object on this desk makes me think of death. Perhaps I should stop coming to see it. They've not even picked up the chair. The stool seems particularly uncomfortable, as if it had been designed with the Machiavellian intention of torturing the pianist. Ooh. You stink of money and fakery. Hey, excuse me, did you hear me? Well then, like I said, you stink of money and fakery. Thanks. I've heard you're new to the city and want to do business. I've got a proposition for you, killer hats. For him, for her, for kids. Oh, hats. Hats was the proposition. Hey, it's the new guy. The hanged man's friend. Come on, let's have a drink. Here's to old... the... I don't know what he's trying to say, so I don't know how to pronounce that A. My dear, come and give this miserable old woman a big hug. The occasion couldn't be sadder, could it? My dear Henry had to die so that I could get to know his companion from his adventures in Limbo. But even small joys are of great worth, especially when misfortune reigns. In you, my dear, I hope to find a confidant with whom I can gossip past the time of day in that way old women do. Here, drink this up. I'll take the drink. Why not? With great pleasure, Mrs. Allen. Dana. Call me Dana, my dear. Get it down you quick. There are plenty more to come and time is flying by. Ain't that the truth? You know, dear, having you here makes it much easier to pretend to be respectable, especially for an old witch like me. The truth is, all I feel like doing is weeping for my Henry, shutting myself up in a bedroom and never coming out again. But having you here with me gives me strength. It turns out the last letter my Henry wrote was for you. It was a great surprise. Why do you think he wrote to you, of all people? We're gonna say we have no idea. If I'm being honest, it came as a shock to me too. We hadn't spoke since we were children. Another mystery to add to the big mystery. I don't know what's happening to this city. Mysteries appear from nowhere like mushrooms after the rain. Aren't you parched, dear? My throat's like a desert. Here, drink this and toast this poor old codger's health. She did say there were a lot of drinks coming around. Okay, I'll have it. That's what I like to hear. Isn't this punch delicious? My recipe, naturally. But don't ask me what's in it, because I won't tell you. That's alarming. Moving to an unfamiliar city all of a sudden like that must have been like a seismic event for you. You don't know how much it gladdens me to see just how important my Henry is to you. But I can't help being curious. What exactly are your plans, my dear? Have you come just on business, or are you thinking about staying with us for a good while? I'd say we're going to concentrate on business at the moment. I don't want to sound insensitive, Mrs. Allen. Dana. Sorry, Dana. As I was saying, I don't want to sound insensitive, but my main priority right now is getting business going and doing justice to the position I've inherited from Henry. Oh, don't feel bad. I think it's the wisest position to take. What's more, you have in me an ally to help you get started in this city, now and always. We're living through an interesting time, my dear. Stick by this old codger and you'll see how life will smile on you. Oh, look how long I've been keeping you already, and this party was intended for you to meet some important people. What a disastrous host I've been. I'll let you go now, just one warning. Do not go looking for our dear widow. Poor Juliet is still very upset and isn't up to socializing. I'm sure you'll excuse her. Before you go, my dear, have a last drink with me, to our brilliant future. Three's a lot, but you know what? My throat is parched. Down in one? Down in one! That's how you should live your life. Gulp it down. I'll leave you with our illustrious guests. Don't be shy. Mingle, talk, listen, and above all, smile. Well, let's get to mingling. Oh, you're that new merchant. Well, if you're looking for people to do business with here, you're out of luck. Here you'll only find wretched souls like me. Ooh. Rude. A dresser with an old but well looked after dinner set. Recipe books, fairy tales, biographies. There's all kinds here, albeit all related to the city. Well, the people here aren't very friendly. The door is closed and I have nothing to do in there. No, there's snooping to do. Oh. You just said the killer hat sting. A fireplace, fitted out with ornaments and utensils. Well, I've mingled. Just because Dana told me not to, I kind of want to check in on Juliet again, but like we did do that already. Let's go find La Lumiere. I want to say it was either before or after the bridge. I love living in the city, but with this constant fog, one is constantly losing track of time. It does fly by. I can't blame you there. It's Giles! Have you visited Miss Florence's shop yet? It's the only place to be if you want to keep up with the latest trends. I shouldn't go around opening doors randomly. That's how one ends up in jail. Well, you're not wrong. But have you considered this is a video game? The top hat. You know, I hear that is a killer business idea. I'm sorry, you can't go in there. This place is only for club members. Oh, I thought you sold hats. Well, that's kind of boring. I thought there was supposed to be a bridge. I found it, La Lumiere. But we're gonna go in next time, I think. But until then, I've been Atticus. Thank you for joining me, and goodbye.